All right. Well, welcome, listeners, to another episode of Dark Dialogue Shadow Chat Sessions. I'm your host, John.
And I'm Angela.
And we're ready to get in here and dive into some new crazy shit, weird shit, dipshits, all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So, how's it going tonight?
Apparently, we need a shovel.
Well, we just dug ourselves out of a pretty freaking dark case, and so I am actually ready to smile a little bit.
Yeah.
Just have a little bit of fun, have a little fun with some lighter shit. And the news stories I pick are never light. I mean,
it's true.
It's unfortunate. That's why I cut it down to just 3 news headlines, because it's like we do dark shit all the time. So, I don't know. Maybe our listeners need to reach out and tell us if we just abandon the news altogether and just stick strictly with lighthearted shit, or what everybody would like to hear.
The dumb criminals and the weird stuff.
Yep. Maybe we can come up with something, another segment to add in place of the news before the dipshits or something. I don't know. But we're always open to suggestions, so. But are you ready to dive into some news?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
Are you ready?
I gotta leave a pause for a little jingle.
Which to me, I always see the Peanuts characters dancing. Do you?
To the jingle?
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me happy as soon as I hear it. I love that jingle.
It sounds like Peanuts, the Charlie Brown theme song to me. Just at least the beginning, the 2-3 seconds.
I guess I can see that. All right, so
you see Linus just, tearing it up on his little piano.
Did Linus play the piano?
I feel like it was Linus.
Yeah, it was Linus. I was thinking of the dirty one. Who's the dirty one?
Oh.
He had a dust cloud following him.
Yeah, and I can't remember his name.
Pigpen.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's jump out of the comic section and into the news section.
Cartoons are good.
Cartoons are good. All right, so a father's plea after U.S. aviation student goes missing in New Zealand. So the search continues for a 22-year-old U.S. aviation student, Houston Stansel, after he vanished in New Zealand's West Auckland region. His father flew in from North Carolina to help local authorities search treacherous bushland. So Stansel, who was in New Zealand for flight training, disappeared after a reported hike in a rural area near Auckland. His car was later found abandoned near Anawata Road. The New Zealand police, search teams, and family have appealed for any information. Locals describe the area as dense and dangerous, raising fears of a tragic accident or something worse. My take? Just once, we'd like to hear about a missing person found at a diner eating pancakes, not vanishing into a horror movie forest. New Zealand may have breathtaking views, but it's not supposed to breathe you in. Between haunted beaches and murderously scenic hikes, maybe it's time to rethink solo walks in rugged terrain.
Yeah, why can't they just be at IHOP enjoying a stack and a coffee?
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
I know, it's never anything good, and I'm really afraid that this case is going to go the direction that we think it's going to
And
go.
we're going to have to cover it later.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a murder. I think it's very likely that, he fell down or got bit by a snake. I don't know. I don't know what snakes are in New Zealand.
They would bite anything.
I know in Australia there's all kinds of freaking poisonous snakes, but
there's all kinds of poisonous everything in Australia.
But I don't know about New Zealand.
I feel like it's close.
Well, it is close, but I also know that...
I don't mean in geography, but I mean in the same...
I don't think so, because New Zealand has no natural predators. So I know he didn't get eaten by a bear or a wolf or coyote or anything like that because there are none there, which is crazy to me because there's all kinds of wildlife, but there's no natural predators in New Zealand.
How are they keeping them out?
Keeping what out? The predators? It's the freaking island. How do they get there? Have you seen Jurassic Park? T-Rex cannot swim.
Did you see the look on your face? That's what I was going for. Every single time I have to get that look at least once. Like, I am going to throw something at you.
No, I was not thinking I was going to throw something at you, but I mean, that's why I want to hunt it, is because there's no predators you got to worry about. You don't have to worry about a bear eating your kill or anything like that. It's like a hunter's paradise. And because there's no predators, there's also no hunting licenses. Because they want to keep the populations under control. So you don't need no license. It's like the perfect place. But I would need a guide because I don't know New Zealand. I'm not one of these guys that would just take off in a new area by myself.
I'm glad for that.
No way.
I'm glad for that because I don't want to A, find a new partner, and B, have to discuss you on one of these things.
Exactly. So it leads to the first discussion question, and that is, can we stop pretending all hikes are soul cleansing when half of them end up with search dogs and helicopters?
Right.
I mean, it's like what I was just saying, man. Hiking by yourself is very dangerous.
Why are people forgetting the buddy system?
Exactly.
Why?
And then add on top of that, because I will hike by myself. It's probably not the smartest thing, but I will do it. I've hiked all over the Rocky Mountains. I know the terrain well. I know, and I mean, there's like rangers that live in the mountains that end up falling and dying. So I'm not naive enough to say that I know it well enough I could never end up like this, because we could all end up like this. But I do have a lifetime worth of knowledge to fall back on in the Rocky Mountain area.
Right.
If I'm in the Smoky Mountains, I ain't going hiking by myself. And when I was living in Ohio, growing up out here, I always just made fun of people that got lost, because I was like, how can you be so freaking dumb as to get lost? Who could get lost? Go hike in Ohio or in the Smoky Mountains or any of those places back east where this tree looks exactly like that tree and the next 50 million trees in front of you. Like, I don't know how the hell you don't get lost out there. But those people that grow up in that terrain, they're very comfortable. They don't get lost. They're able to identify stuff that I couldn't even imagine being able to identify.
Because this tree has this knot hole and this tree has that knot hole.
Exactly, because their years of experience has taught them to look for certain things that I would never notice, but yet bring them out here to the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
And they're like, every freaking rock looks just like the other freaking rock or whatever. So, I mean, really having that local knowledge helps so much in finding your way in and out of an area. And then add on top of that, the knowledge of the animals that you're up against, the poisonous snakes like we talked about, all that kind of stuff.
It really doesn't matter to this, but I got lost in Casper once because there's a freaking loafing jug on every damn corner.
It's probably easier to get lost in a downtown city than it is out in the middle of the mountains somewhere.
I called people up here and I was like, how many loafing jugs does one place need? I swear I've passed the same one. It took me... Well, I was frustrated, so I pulled over for a while. But it took me an hour just to get from the hotel out of Casper. I was there for a hotel certification meeting. Just to get out. Because they're like, well, look for things and past this. And I'm like, look for what? Tell me something other than a loafing jug, because that's all I'm seeing.
Yep.
I vowed if I never saw another loafing jug, I would be happy.
I don't think that you're going to get that.
I don't think so either. Just stay the hell out of Casper, I guess.
There you go.
Or don't drive. Passenger princess.
So if you're alone in a remote forest with no cell signal, again, maybe it's
Do you
not
know the tree
best
falls?
to be alone.
No, it's not. And that's why I said I don't chase things alone, not even if it's a bag rolling down the street.
And, I hate to be insensitive, but should missing tourist posters include the line, last seen ignoring every safety guideline available? I mean, we talk about this living near Yellowstone Park, and it's like, I mean, I don't know what more. Like,
I really thought I was going to spit that drink across the room.
I thought you were too. I don't know how much more like the locals around here and the park service and stuff can do to warn people not to try to pet the animals. But
I haven't been to Yellowstone in a couple of years, but the last time I went to Yellowstone, when they give you the map of where you're going and where everything is, and, stay on the paths and don't touch the animals and all that, there's a sign there was a sign at the bottom that said it is a $5,000 fine if you're caught touching the animals. And in parentheses, it says, if you live.
yeah, I mean, and they hand you like a whole stack of papers, and one of them's like a map, and like all the rest of them are don't do dumb shit.
Yeah.
It's like, don't,
And everybody says, ooh, map. The rest of that stuff is just kindling. No, read it.
don't jump into the hot pots that are literally at boiling temperature.
Yeah.
Don't pet the animals. Don't go hiking without water. Don't go hiking if you don't know how to find your way back.
Get off.
Don't do the shit you shouldn't do to make yourself dead.
Yes. But the fact that they have to say, if you live, it's a $5,000 fine.
I know we try to scare people with the reality, but still, on the ambulance, we would make multiple trips every summer to pick up people that got mauled by buffalo, primarily.
Yeah.
But it could be a moose, it could be an elk, could be a deer, could be a coyote, could be a bear. But
Could be a bird. Some of those are vicious too.
it's the same story all over the place, and it's just really just goes to my point of, if you don't know an area because you grew up there, you don't ever know an area because you read a book on it.
Yeah.
You need to grow up there,
Enjoy.
live there. You need to experience it.
Yeah.
You need to have somebody with some skills take you out and teach you.
That's what I was going to
And
say.
then you become knowledgeable about it. But
Enjoy the areas, but follow the damn rules.
exactly. All right. Next story. 250 kilograms of cocaine seized at Brisbane Port.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Australian authorities intercepted a massive cocaine shipment, over 250 kilos, hidden inside a shipping container at Brisbane Port. The bust is one of the largest in the region this year. The cocaine was concealed within containers labeled as, quote, legitimate goods, likely imported via South America. Australian federal police estimate the street value in the tens of millions. No arrests have been made yet, but officials are warning that cartels are upping their game in targeting Australian ports, hiding drugs among cargo like fertilizer and household goods. My take? Nothing screams quality control failure like finding bricks of coke where there should be lawn chairs. Drug smugglers really out here treating ports like a Costco for crime, just tossing it in with the bulk kitty litter and hope nobody's looking. Can we expect a How It's Made episode on narcotics hidden in novelty garden gnomes?
Inspector number 37, get your shit together. Come on.
Yeah. So, do smugglers think the hide it in shipping containers trick isn't on literally every customs checklist?
They'll never find it here.
Yeah, I mean, and the sad part of it is for everyone that's caught, there's probably 10,000
that are not
get through.
Yep.
You know? But why is every major cocaine bust hidden in either bananas or fertilizers? Is there like a Pinterest board for this shit?
Not on any Pinterest boards I've ever surfed. Maybe it's the dark web Pinterest.
Maybe it is.
Centrist.
I know that like coffee is a big one because it can like
it covers up the smells,
cover up the scent. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of stories that say based on a true story, and they've used baby formula, which scares the shit out of me.
Did they use it to ship it or they use it to cut it?
They use it to hide it in cans of baby formula.
That's pretty scary.
And if one of those gets in the wrong hands,
yeah,
terrifying.
Which it definitely could.
Yeah, it probably has.
So, should container sniffing dogs just unionize at this point?
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
I mean, you know, for all of our
a lot of demands.
For all of our technology and everything, there's nothing that beats dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, invest in lots of dogs and just sniff this shit out.
Yep. Take stock in minties, greenies. They need all the treats to find all these things.
And I really think that countries need to become more strict on if a shipment comes from this country and we find shit in it, then I don't know, we tariff the shit out of that country or whatever, because we got to do something to where it's checked thoroughly on both ends, where it's shipped from and where it's received from, to just make sure as little of this slips through as possible. You're always going to have some get through. There's no way to just magically make it so that you can't smuggle anything, but you know, if a country, because these assholes will definitely ship through countries that have lower standards than others.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it needs to hurt those countries that don't have high standards and that aren't trying to protect our citizens with the shit that's coming in here. All right. And this one's crazy. So, cyanide killer slipped poison into friend's iced coffee.
Friends.
Yeah. So, in a chilling Indonesian case, Jessica Wongso was convicted of killing her friend, Mirna Salhin, by lacing her iced coffee with cyanide at a Jakarta cafe. The case went viral, and Wongso recently spoke out in a new TV interview. So Wongso served the drink to Silihan, who collapsed and died within minutes. The case shocked the nation with its sheer audacity and calculated cruelty, particularly as the murder occurred in public. Now serving a 20-year sentence, Wongso appeared on Indonesian television denying responsibility despite damning forensic evidence and CCTV footage showing her pouring the drink. My take? Move over, mean girls. This is murderous girls. Coffee dates are supposed to bring friends together, not kill them. Nothing says passive-aggressive millennial friendship like, here, I got you your usual, with extra death. Honestly, this could be Starbucks' darkest limited edition blend yet, cyanide cold brew. So, looking at this picture, the bitch on the left killed this poor girl on the right.
Wow.
Yeah. So, is there a less suspicious way to poison someone than literally handing them the drink that you laced?
These are not things we should be teaching our listeners.
I mean, come on. And this one could have probably been put in the dumb criminal section.
Yeah.
So should cafe employees start asking what cream, sugar, or
cocaine
with that?
Or cyanide? Sorry, I was still on the last one.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts. Is this true crime or just a cautionary tale about trusting ex-besties with dark lipstick and fake smiles?
Trusting anybody at this point, like,
come on. Oh, what was it? Was it last episode or the one before that when we were talking about the bitch that poisoned her ex's family?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this one's a tough one because from everything I could read, I really couldn't I didn't dig all that deep into it, but I didn't find the motive. Like they were fighting over a boy or like nothing.
She stole my favorite sweater.
It was
I don't know what place that was.
Something that dumb though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean,
she wouldn't let me cheat on her off her in class.
It seems like this is becoming more prevalent in that people are killing people for stupider and stupider shit. I mean, not that there's ever a good reason to kill somebody, but I mean,
entitlement is
what I hear about these stories where it's just like, well, she wore the same dress as me today, so I'm going to kill her.
Yeah.
I mean, dumb shit like that.
She looked at Bobby. I saw it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just insane. All right. Even though that one would fit here, now it is time for the Dipshit's Diary.
Dipshit Diary.
So, a Florida man with an ankle monitor tells deputies that he can't go to jail because he has a curfew.
Oh, does that work?
So, a Florida man tried to talk his way out of arrest by informing officers that he couldn't go to jail because he had a curfew, and he was promptly jailed. So while details of his original offense haven't been released, the highlight is his utterly brilliant legal strategy. Argue that jail interferes with his personal schedule. The officers...
Interferes with mine too.
The officers, tragically unpersuaded by his bedtime obligations, arrested him anyway. At last report, the only curfew he had was lights out at the local detention center. So my take... Ah, yes. The law says I must be indoors by 10, officer. A legal defense so watertight it might have been scribbled on a Taco Bell napkin. This is the kind of logic you get when Florida is the main character. Buddy, jail doesn't give out gold stars for punctuality. It gives out jumpsuits and regret. So... should curfews be added to Miranda rights just for Florida residents?
I turn my insolent. Everything you say.
You have the right to be home on time. No, mommy tells you to.
No. No.
So,
then mommy tells you to.
Does he think...
Excuse me, can I arrest you for this, or does your mother want you home for dinner? The street lights are on, or is it okay?
Does he think that court sentencing works like booking a hair appointment?
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Yeah. So, can we get this man a calendar or maybe a clue?
Shit.
I mean, I guess you'd try anything.
I mean,
the idea that this could conceivably work just blows my mind.
Oh, why don't you ask your son?
If he would have somebody, if he would incarcerate somebody, if they told him that
I have a curfew.
Sorry, but I've got to be home right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure his response would be, "We got your home right here.
We got
buddy.
your home." Yep.
All right.
Cot for you. We got you pajamas.
Exactly. A nice pillow and a blankie, all of your own.
Yeah.
So a man robs a store with a finger gun and then flees in a pink SUV. So
what?
In Waterloo, Iowa.
No. Wait, hold. We're calling him the dumb criminal, not the person who was scared of a finger gun?
It wasn't successful.
Okay.
So in Waterloo, Iowa, a man attempted to rob a convenience store using nothing but a finger gun and then fled the scene in a very unsubtle pink SUV. So surveillance footage confirmed that the suspect walked into the store, pointed his hand like a pistol, and demanded cash. When the clerk refused, the suspect ran outside and peeled away in a bright pink vehicle. Police had zero issues tracking him down, likely because there aren't many fugitive Barbie Jeeps in Iowa. My take? When you're trying to be feared but show up like a rejected extra from Grand Theft Auto Cotton Candy Edition, things tend to unravel. This man thought armed robbery meant armed with imagination. Next time, try robbing a mime convention. You might get more respect.
He took armed robbery a little too literal.
Yeah. Bump. So, do you think the getaway vehicle was chosen for speed, stealth, or just sheer audacity?
Barbie burglary, man.
I mean,
she has a dream house. She has the vet. She doesn't have the burglary getaway van yet.
Outside of like the top Mary Kay saleswoman,
who's gonna have a pink car? Like,
I don't even know if I mean, maybe once in a while you see a pink car, but they're rare. It's rare to see.
There's a few around here. There's a pink Jeep.
Well,
there's a pink slow bug.
My point isn't that they don't exist. My point is that when an AP that we're looking for a pink vehicle,
Pepto-Bismol on wheels.
It's not like saying there's a white vehicle that we're looking for.
Oh, I know.
I mean, yeah, maybe there's 3 or 4 in our town. Maybe there's 100 in this town. But still, when you're talking about 100 out of 1 million, you know, it's not that difficult to find them. So
the plate was probably prestige plates too.
Probably, yeah. So should we start issuing criminal licenses only after they pass a basic IQ test?
Yes.
You can only be a criminal if you're smart enough to tie your own damn shoes.
Yes, and you have to be home by 10.
So is it really a crime if the weapon used was an index finger plus a thumb plus misplaced confidence?
Whose pointer finger was armed?
I think yes. I think the answer is yes. I mean, if you go in, I don't think he could be charged with armed robbery.
I kind of want to try it now.
But I do believe that you can be charged for attempted robbery.
Be charged with hand robbery.
If you're too dumb to realize that nobody's scared of your finger. Okay, so now it's time for the weird shit section. Your favorite section.
Yes, it is.
Weird shit.
The ghost of room 873 in Banff Springs Hotel, Canada. Room 873 at the historic Banff Springs Hotel is so haunted, the hotel allegedly bricked over the door. Guests once reported hearing blood-curdling screams, ghostly children's laughter, and seeing bloody handprints appear on mirrors, despite the room being removed from use. According to lore, a man murdered his wife and daughter in room 873 before dying by suicide. Ever since, guests unlucky enough to stay there complained of bizarre activity. Lights flickering, TVs turning on by themselves, and phantom crying. Eventually, the hotel sealed the room off entirely and now skips the number when assigning rooms, but visitors still report odd happenings near the non-existent suite, like cold spots and unseen figures walking the hallway. My take? When a hotel room is so haunted that the management responds with, "Let's just pretend it doesn't exist," you know things are bad. Imagine asking for a refund because your mirror keeps bleeding and the concierge replies, "Oh, that's just room 873 doing its thing."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're sleeping with one eye open and your complimentary robe duct taped shut. You okay?
I had a hiccup and I hate them.
Oh. So I gotta say, This is the most beautiful place I've ever been in my entire life, for the record.
Have you been there?
Yeah. It is
I'm jealous.
the most beautiful, picturesque, gorgeous location, I think, on the face of the earth. I mean, it's amazing.
That's saying a lot.
You stand out on the deck of this hotel and nothing in front of you but this perfectly gorgeous lake. And then around the lake is this like circle of mountains. And then up on the mountains are mountain goats just like playing and running around up there. The mountains are like reflecting off of the perfectly calm glass-like mirror surface of this amazingly beautiful lake. I'm telling you, Banff is like nowhere I've ever been in my life. I've been to some pretty places, but this place, and let me just say that the rooms at this hotel are not like the 7 or the Motel 6 or whatever. Like, you're not getting nothing for $100 a night, man. This place is
Okay.
fancy, nice, and apparently haunted. So, should haunted rooms come with their own Yelp warning label or just a priest on retainer?
A priest. But the room technically isn't in use because they blocked it up. So
They blocked it up. It's gone. I mean, that is a picture
yeah.
where it used to
And then
be.
arrows like used to be here.
But it is comical because if you believe that it's haunted and you believe that, taking a door away is going to keep the ghost locked inside, or how does that work?
Yeah.
exactly?
I don't know. Because they can go wherever they want to.
I think that's kind of the nature of ghosts,
Uh-huh.
is they're not really physically bound by
Yeah.
walls and doors and such. So if ghosts are leaving Yelp reviews, is Eternally Cursed a 1-star or a 5-star experience?
Huh. For ghosts, probably 5.
I would think so too.
Yeah.
Or for ghost hunters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough one because, I mean, if you're looking for that kind of thing, are you looking for a 1-star review, like this place scared the shit out of me and I'll never go back? Or are you looking at a 5-star review that says this place scared the shit out of me and I can't wait to go back?
That one.
I guess either,
Yeah.
if you're a ghost hunter.
Yeah.
Right? It could go either way. You literally would have to read every review to know, because you couldn't just skip to the
I want to go now. Yeah.
You want to go to Banff just to see the freaking place. It's amazing. The haunted part maybe is like an extra for you, but the location is like nothing
Don't you have to have a passport to get into Canada now?
anymore. Yep.
Yeah. No, I don't have one.
When I went, you didn't have to.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you used to be able to just literally drive right across the border,
Yeah. I
put
don't.
your ID in and
Anymore.
carry on. So, what's scarier, spectral murder echoes or room service forgetting your waffles?
I think that would depend on how badly I wanted waffles.
I mean, I gotta say, with the number of poisoning cases that we see stumbling across lately, I think I would take the murder room over eating something somebody else prepared for me at this point.
Oh,
I'm just saying. I mean, ghosts, at least you have a fighting chance, but poison, that's some scary shit because you can't even defend yourself against it.
Yeah.
Like, you're dead before you even know that
Yeah.
anything bad has happened. I'd rather have somebody come at me with an axe. At least you have a fighting chance.
Paul Bunyan, plate of waffles. He's choosing Paul Bunyan.
Yes. Yes. That is so true. Okay. So,
Dybbuk Box. Yes.
so you know about this. That's a big surprise considering who's involved with this story.
I know about lots of Dybbuk boxes.
I mean,
Woo!
so
Did I just tear the whole place down?
apparently. So that's a thing. That's A Dybbuk box? That's like,
Yes.
what is that referring to?
It is a thing so it refers to a box where people put items inside that they think are haunted to keep the spirit locked in, and it is generally sealed with wax or I don't think glue, but mostly wax.
I find that comical sell too, for the very same reason. Like, give me a break. You're telling me that wax is going to keep in a spiritual being?
Well,
sorry, don't buy it.
So the Dybbuk box is usually, I don't want to get this wrong, but there's why can't I think of the word? It's right there. Like religions, certain religions believe in it, others don't. So they believe that if you put the cursed items in it and you say the sacrificial prayers and the reverse exorcism, I guess, and then seal it, you're supposed to be okay if you don't open it. But no one cannot open it. Yeah, this one, Zach has this one, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen him open it 100 times, so yes.
So it's Jumanji.
Yes, don't roll a 9, don't open the box.
So this antique wine cabinet, purchased at an estate sale, allegedly contains a malicious Jewish spirit known as a Dybbuk. Every owner since has reported terrifying misfortune, illness, and nightmares. The box was acquired in the early 2000s by a man who tried to gift it to his mother, who promptly suffered a stroke after receiving it.
She got super sick.
Subsequent owners experienced hair loss, strange odors, shadowy figures, and financial ruin. It inspired a Hollywood horror movie, The Possession, and even skeptic Zach Bagans now keeps it under lock and key in his Vegas Museum of Cursed Artifacts.
Yeah.
My take? Imagine a wine box so cursed it turns Chardonnay into catastrophe. Forget sipping Merlot. Open this thing and you get a paranormal punch in the face. Ghost sommeliers everywhere are shaking their heads. Too much tannin, not enough torment. And if you are on a date and this box is in the room, buddy, you're not getting a second one. So, is haunted wine cabinet just code for an excess stuff who no one wants to throw out?
No. I have stock in those and I will not ever be opening them.
So, should cursed antiques come with user manuals?
Yes.
Or a priest?
Both. They should come with a warning and a priest, in my opinion.
I mean, I just don't get the whole thing. And I guess I don't know enough about it, but I have a really hard time believing that you can lock a spirit in anything. It didn't make sense to me.
What about mirrors? They lock them in mirrors all the time.
Again, I don't buy it. I mean, come on. I'm not
trying to sell it to you.
Other people buy it. And could something like this be haunted? Yeah. I mean, I've already said that I believe in like haunted dolls and stuff, but I just am skeptical.
But how do they keep the ghost in the doll?
Well, they don't. The ghost is attached to the doll for whatever reason. So
it's kind of the same thing here. Kind of.
Except it's like locked in it.
But it doesn't want you messing with it. And when you do, you piss it off and it wreaks havoc across the land.
So can you get haunted by a Dybbuk? Is that what it's called? A Dybbuk and fined for bad taste in furniture?
I think that you should, actually, yes.
I don't understand.
The queer eye for the straight guy needs to come out and mess with your furniture choices here.
I don't understand, like Zach Bagans, for instance.
I love Zach.
Why would you want this shit anywhere near you?
I don't want it anywhere near me. That's why I'm glad Zach wants it near him.
I just don't understand it, man. I do not. I don't fully believe in this, but it's not a risk that I'd be willing to take
Yeah.
and bring it into my house. I can tell you that for damn sure.
Nope.
Okay, moving on. This one is a little
The
crazy.
Houska Castle.
The Houska Castle Getaway to Hell in the Czech Republic.
Gateway to hell.
That one too.
Okay, then.
Have you heard of this one?
I've seen that picture before.
So, built to cover a supposed hole to hell,
Mm-hmm.
Houska Castle in the Czech Republic was designed not to defend from outsiders, but to keep whatever was underneath it from escaping.
Yes.
Houska Castle in the Czech Republic is rumored to be built over a, quote, gateway to hell, a bottomless pit said to harbor demonic creatures and where the castle's walls are built inward to keep the demons trapped. The legend is that the castle was constructed to guard a gateway to the underworld. The castle is also known for its unusual location, far from any trade routes and with no water source, further fueling the mystery. My take? Picture medieval home improvement, but make it diabolical. Yeah, we've got a hellhole out back. Toss some bricks in it, call it a castle, good to go. Makes you wonder if the architect had a pact with Satan or just really bad work ethic. Either way, this is less DIY and more DI. Why did you summon that? So, was this castle designed by a medieval architect or a sleep-deprived dungeon master?
Truth be told, I believe it was actually an architect.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I know, I'm not saying I believe this, but I do know that there is reports that the Stanley Hotel in Estes is built over
Oh, I want to go there too.
some kind of a portal or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I've been there lots of times. Have yet to see anything, but there are some creepy things there.
Shenanigans.
I've never gone on one of the ghost tours. I always
I
wanted
want
to. I just never was able to. I tried several times, but they kind of freaking sell out. But
Yeah.
I have been in the hotel a million times. And I don't know, it's a freaking really cool ass hotel. But similar to this, it's reported to be on some kind of a portal or some kind of something or another that, I don't know, supposed to make a whole bunch of paranormal activity in the area. I don't know. I've heard several different things. I've heard it's built on a portal. I've heard that it's the limestone that it's built on.
Yeah.
That like channels the kind of thing or something. I don't know. I know it's a freaking cool damn hotel. I know it inspired a really cool book,
Yeah.
you know.
I want to go there a billion times more than I want to go to this castle. I'll tell you that much.
I don't have a lot of interest in this. Like, it's a creepy looking freaking place, I gotta say. And that tunnel hole in the ground thing, I don't know. There was some other pictures. I had a hard time picking which pictures to pick, but there's like apparently a couple different holes to hell in this place. I don't know. But yeah, same thing. I don't really believe that a demon is going to be held captive by a castle. But
they're just trying to appeal to him by giving him his own castle and maybe a stay.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting. It would be interesting to dive deeper into that and see what the real historical story is behind it and all of that kind of stuff, you know?
I actually think the Lights Out podcast did one on that. I'll have to find it and send it to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is, could we lower a few modern politicians into that hole just to see what happens?
Please?
I mean, I think that would be really good.
I'm sure there's a list.
The canary in the coal mine?
Mhm.
Yeah. So is Helmuth covered under Czech home insurance?
I highly doubt it.
Is there like a I don't know, a demon rider or something. You
I
have to
doubt
get for your homeowner insurance. If you,
like floodplain warning.
if you build a home on a
Demon.
portal to hell, do you have to get a special waiver from your insurance company, or how does that work?
I would look into that too.
Yeah, I don't have the answer to that. I just do not
Let's
know.
get Jake from State Farm on the phone.
There you go. Hey, I've got a haunted hole to hell.
Yeah. What kind of plan do I need? Another Mothman?
The Papillon Mothman of France.
Do you have the same
Exact.
questions for this one as you do the other one?
Damn straight I do.
All right. So it doesn't matter which one you meet. You just want to meet one of them?
I really want to meet the American one, because I don't speak French. But I don't know if there was an interpreter, then maybe I could meet the French dude. I don't know.
You need an interpreter?
If he
Mothman
answered me, I
interpreter?
wouldn't know what the hell he was talking about. So,
I don't speak enough French.
in 1950s France, witnesses in a small town saw a large humanoid winged creature with glowing red eyes, eerily similar to the American Mothman. Described as a tall, black, winged figure with insect-like features, Papillon, or how the hell do you say that, Frenchie?
It depends on if their L's are like Spanish and Papillon.
I think so. I think they're like L's.
I don't know.
Papillon, that's what I'm going with.
Go with it.
Was spotted hovering over fields, stalking travelers, and silently soaring through misty nights. While never directly linked to disasters like his U.S. cousin, it left enough terrified locals in its wake to earn a cryptid reputation across the region. My take? Turns out Mothman did study abroad. Who knew West Virginia's winged freak had a cultured cousin hunting French vineyards? Picture it. Ominous wings, glowing eyes, and a beret. Probably whispered La Motte before vanishing into the fog. Somewhere, a cryptid with baguette crumbs on his chest is just vibing.
I think it's just ours on vacation.
You might be
Like
right.
he's going on holiday. So he's not causing as much havoc over there because he's on his vacation.
Probably
He
right.
doesn't want to work while he's over there.
So is a French Mothman ours on vacation? Is he more dramatic, or is he just better dressed?
Better dressed.
Yeah.
There are standards in France that there aren't here.
Are there?
Well, for dressing, I would assume. I've never been to France. I don't know.
I've never been to France either.
That would require a passport we just discussed I don't have.
This is true. So can international cryptids apply for dual citizenship?
I think that would depend on what they bring to the table.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you could make an argument for the American Mothman potentially bringing a warning of impending doom. The French dude just scares the shit out of people, it sounds to me like.
So he doesn't get dual citizenship.
No, but the American one should get.
He should, because he's at least slightly helpful.
Yeah, except he just scares the shit out of everybody until something bad happens, and then everybody's like, oh, he must have been warning us. This brings us to the conversation I want to have with the douchebag.
Well, then we'll answer that question after you have your conversation.
Well, don't hold your breath, because I've been hunting for a long time, and I have yet to find him. So, do you think this one was meant to warn of a disaster, or just critique the wine selection?
How many times was he seen?
A number of times.
And nothing like terrible happened?
No.
He's just there for the cheese, the wine and cheese.
I mean, I find Mothman...
He's on vacation, man.
I find the Mothman sightings interesting in that they all seem, and, after you brought up, was this one-off thing because you thought it was all over the world? So did I. I had to look and see if there were more, and there are more. They don't all match the whole... just like this one, they don't all match the whole he appears, bad shit happens type of thing. But what's interesting and fascinating about these Mothman sightings is they seem to appear for a certain period of time in a certain area, and then poof, nothing ever again. And that just seems to repeat over
Because he's
and over.
been there. He's got to see somewhere else now.
It's just weird to me. Like on the cryptid front, it's just strange that they follow that pattern. And so I don't know. And is it possible that something bad was going to happen and then it somehow
Changed.
changed? I don't have a freaking clue, but it is interesting. All right, and then we have finally the Phantom Cosmonauts, Soviet ghost astronauts, the 1950s through the 1960s.
I'm intrigued.
So before Yuri, I don't know how to say that dude's last name,
I can't see it well enough.
Yuri Gagarin's historic 1961 flight, rumors swirled that the USSR launched and lost other cosmonauts. Known as Phantom Cosmonauts, these shadowy figures allegedly died in orbit, their missions erased from history. Throughout the Cold War, amateur radio operators in Italy claimed to intercept mysterious transmissions, faint voices gasping for air, begging in Russian, or even screaming in distress. These weren't isolated incidents. Some believe the Soviet Union covered up failed space missions to protect its reputation, quietly allowing early astronauts to vanish into the void. Officially denied, these ghosts in the static remain one of space exploration's eeriest mysteries. My take? Imagine being the first human in space, just not the first one to survive. While NASA was showing off moon boots, the Soviets might have been muting emergency transmissions like, night, it's getting hot in here. If true, this means the space race wasn't a competition. It was a deadly game of interstellar hide and seek where the losers got orbital graves and redacted names.
That picture was creepy.
So is this still a conspiracy theory if your space program comes with a body count and a bad radio signal?
Everything is a conspiracy theory.
I mean, I think this is very likely true. The USSR did some crazy shit. And the space race between the USSR and the United States was intense.
Yeah.
And the idea that the USSR would shoot people up there and not know how to get them back or whatever, and then just cover it up, because I have no doubt about that shit. We know the USSR did that kind of stuff. They would cover up all kinds of shit if it made their country look bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all about the optics of everything. So do I think this is possible? Oh, I think it's probably very probable, actually. You know, I mean, we're talking about a time where, I mean, we know they sent a monkey up before they sent Yuri up, but it's very possible that if they got the monkey up there, they were like, okay, well, let's try Larry. And then, you know, they shoot him up and some bad shit happens. I mean, the United States had plenty of bad shit happen. You know, like Apollo 13, they got out there. I mean, it was years and years later, but the Challenger blew up.
Yeah.
It killed multiple I mean, we had some bad shit go down in the United States. Of course, Russia did.
Yeah.
They were doing the same, they were racing us to it. So they were doing the same sort of shit that we were doing, but they wouldn't want to televise their mistakes. And so it wouldn't surprise me at all if there is some poor cosmonauts' bodies floating around up there from this period of time. So how many Cold War oopsies are floating out there in orbit waiting to be found, complete with a grimace and a frozen wave?
I was going to say, I wonder what it does to decomp. Like, are we going to find them in suits fully intact? Is it going to be like cryogenic? We can wake them up and they'll be okay? Like, what's...
I mean,
Did I go way too sci-fi there for a minute?
Well, I guess I should say that to begin with, I am not a space guy, so it's never interested me. I couldn't be less interested in something, I don't think. I just never my thing. But from what I understand, I mean, we know there's no atmosphere, so there would be nothing to support biological activity. Microorganisms and stuff that typically, speed up decomposition. I believe that depending, I suppose, on where they would be floating, that temperatures would be sub-zero. So if so, and they weren't drifting like towards the surface of the sun, but instead they were drifting in a place with sub-zero temperatures, then they would probably be frozen, in which case they wouldn't be, decomposed.
Yeah.
But I'm just guessing. I don't know. I don't believe they would have floated out into space because Earth's orbit would have kept them in that belt, right? I think. I don't know. Do you float off into space? Are they?
I don't know.
They potentially out in the Milky Way somewhere or farther, or does Earth's orbit kind of keep you right around it? I don't know.
And how has no one seen them floating around out there?
Well, that could easily be answered by, look at the freaking ocean.
Well,
we haven't seen. There's way less people that have been to space.
That's true.
I don't know. Maybe.
But aren't like radars, satellites, all that jazz?
I don't know that they would pick up something that tiny in comparison. And who knows, maybe one of these space tourist flights, they're going to like bump into one and be like, holy shit, there's a dead guy up there. I don't know. I don't even know if any of this is theoretically possible. If any of you out there are interested in this shit, you can tell us.
If you're screaming at your podcast right now,
you and I'm asses. Look, I do a true crime show. I never claim to know anything about space.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that there's at least the possibility that they could be floating around out there. I believe that once satellites are put into orbit, that the Earth's gravitational pull kind of keeps them in that orbit around the Earth. So I would assume that a body would probably stay in a similar orbit. So maybe they are still floating around up there. I don't know. So should we be more concerned about space debris or space ghosts?
I think both.
Yeah.
I think they're one and the same, no?
Makes you wonder. I don't know. That's a creepy freaking tale. I know everybody has those stories that's just like, oh my God, like totally unimaginable torture. When that Russian submarine went down, I don't know if you remember that. That would have been, it was several years ago, but a Russian sub went down. And, we went to assist with the recovery and all that kind of stuff. But the reports where they could hear them banging on the submarine there for a little bit. And then the banging just kind of stopped, and I just cannot imagine the fear them guys must have gone through. And I'm not saying that particular instance was anything like this, because I'm pretty sure that was, I'm positive that was Russia, not USSR. And, they weren't hiding it or anything like that. There was a lot of stuff about they didn't want America to bring the sub up because they didn't want us to get their technology and shit, which I can understand. But as far as like keeping it hidden and secret, they didn't do any of that shit. So I'm just talking about like a submarine or a spaceship. You're in the same boat. You're like completely
Nowhere to go.
at the mercy of this craft in which you've entrusted your life. And when it goes to shit and either goes to the bottom of the ocean or is floating out in space, there's no way to get home.
No.
Like, that's why you could not get me into space any quicker than you could get me in a submarine at the bottom of the ocean, because I don't even have a chance.
I agree.
If I'm on a ship out in the ocean, yeah, I'm probably going to die, but at least I can try to swim. At least there is the potential that I might be able to float around until somebody sees me.
Yeah.
On a submarine or in a spaceship, you're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody forgets to tighten a bolt or whatever goes wrong.
You're running it with a Nintendo controller.
Yeah, you're just dead. There's no way around it. So to me, this is like a fear. And
Absolutely not.
like the ones that, that died with the one that imploded with the Nintendo,
The Odyssey.
at least it was instantaneous. Like they likely never even felt a thing. But, you think about like those guys stuck in the freaking submarine for like 2 or 3 days banging on. And I don't think they ever confirmed whether they were hearing noises of it breaking apart or it was actually people banging.
Yeah.
But just the thought is like, holy shit. Or, people trapped in mines where they hear them banging. And
Yeah.
I don't know, you're probably not old enough to remember. I know you're not that much younger than me, but I was little when this happened. But man, it made a freaking impression on me that I will never forget. And that was Baby Jessica. Do you remember Baby Jessica?
In the canal or the
In the well.
wall.
Texas.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I watched every night, just like enthralled with that poor baby that was stuck in that well.
Oh.
And
You're afraid of walls for the rest of your life.
well, I was just enthralled by this poor baby that was stuck. And I don't know if you remembered or not, but she like fell, and so her foot was like above her head. One foot was like above her head or whatever. She ended up losing like half of her foot, but she's a mom now. She has kids of her own. Like, it's a happy story.
Yeah.
But man, as a kid, I was just enthralled. But like, I could not get home from school fast enough to get the news on. And back then, it wasn't 24-hour news. So it was like, you had to get home and then you get your chores done and everything, so that when the 5 o'clock news came on, you could watch and see if Baby Jessica got out of the well or not. That was like the story. And every day they were like digging farther, and they were like trying to send her down snacks and food and stuff to keep her alive. And I just remember like just sitting like with bated breath, just waiting to see
What's happening to Baby Jessica?
And when they brought that baby up out of there alive, it was just like, it was such a huge
It was felt
deal.
across the planet. Yeah.
Oh man, was it ever? And like I said, that was before the whole 24-hour news thing. And so it wasn't like you were watching this shit all the time and TV channels.
Yeah, if you missed it, you missed it.
You missed it. And it was a really big deal back then to have a nationwide story like that. Because normally it wasn't. It was like, okay, this country's bombing that country and, this and that and whatever. But like just that story that just gripped the nation.
The whole humans came together for a human thing, not a war.
Yeah.
Everybody just wanted her to live through it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a huge story, but, and I don't know how in the hell we got on that, but, and it's a very similar thing where you're just stuck and you can do nothing to get yourself out of the shit and mess that you're in. And I don't know, it just terrifies me.
Yeah.
I would rather confront almost anything where I could at least fight and try than to just be at the mercy of whatever.
Nature.
Or I'd rather be at the mercy of nature than the mercy of a man-made piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And that's why I never understood carnivals. I never got that shit, man. Like, I go to these places, you go to these places and you see this dude, he just smoked a bowl of meth. And he's like He's got no teeth.
He's pushing all the
Beth
buttons.
is flying them all out and everything. Oh, no, he's not just pushing the buttons. This son of a bitch put this thing together.
Oh,
But
no.
I am about to crawl on top of and go winging through the air at the speed of sound. No thanks. I pass on carnivals. No freaking way.
I know. I've ridden enough. I don't ride them anymore.
And I'm not big on like amusement parks, but at least amusement parks have like staff that doesn't do drugs. And
Well, and they're stationary. They're not traveling all over. They live there constantly.
and they have all these safety protocols in place and inspections and all. And you
Yeah.
still hear bad shit happening.
You do.
But these traveling outfits, there's just no freaking way, man. No
Yeah.
way.
Like I said, I did enough when I was a stupid kid. I have those memories. I'm done. I actually broke one once. I wanted off of it.
right.
So yeah, I wanted off it so bad. I was pushing really hard with my foot, and one of the bolts of the things that let go over your lap broke. That guy cussed at me because he knew I just kept screaming. I was like, "Get me off this thing!" And he's like, "Just wait it out." Nope, broke the thing. Bolt
Yeah.
fell out.
I just had never.
He did not like that one.
I've been on some of the rides and like Gravitron. That was like one of my favorite.
I love
Whatever
your Gravitron.
But like the zipper one and like all them others twirly, like the Sizzler one.
Yeah, I didn't
Like-
get on that one.
No freaking way. No, I am not interested. I wasn't even interested as a kid. Not my thing.
I loved
Never been my thing.
Gravitron and Tilt-A-Whirl, but the one I broke was the octopus, which is essentially the Tilt-A-Whirl, but it goes up in the air and comes back down.
Yeah.
Did not like that at all.
Yeah, I've been on a few big roller coasters like Dollywood, Tinnywood, Disneyland, Opryland. They all sound the same, by the way. You know, I'm not that dude. I've been perfectly happy going to amusement parks and sitting quietly while my kids go
Do their
take
thing.
their life into their own hands.
Yep.
I just sit there and watch them and think you're out of your freaking minds, but at least you're not doing something bad. At
Yeah.
least you're going on stupid rides instead. But and then Elitch's in Denver, they do something pretty cool, and that's like in the wintertime at Christmas time, they open it and do like it's all lit up in Christmas lights and that kind of shit. Maybe they do that all over. I don't know. But at Elitch's, they do that. And so I've taken the kids there a couple times, and it's a lot of fun. I don't do the rides, but it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool experience, you know, go walk through all the lights and do all that kind of stuff, you know, but not me, not carnival rides, not spaceships, not submarines. No to the hell no.
It's kind of how I feel about planes, but if there's somebody willing to keep me drugged enough, I can handle a plane.
Yeah, I mean, planes aren't my favorite for that very reason. If I was flying, I think I'd be fine, but I don't love, but I don't really panic. I've flown enough that it's just like, okay, whatever, we got to get this over with. I don't really enjoy it. Now, I've flown where in like small planes where it's just me and the pilot, you know, lets me take control and play around and shit. That's freaking cool. I'm all about that. Or, you know, where I don't know why, but you know, when you think you have control or, you know, if something happens and your pilot has a heart attack, you can at least grab the yoke and try.
Yeah.
But
Can you try?
be locked in the back where,
The theme of tonight's episode is try.
yeah, I mean, I think the theme is John is a control freak. I don't like it when I don't have control. And I'm okay admitting that. But I like the illusion, even though that's
Control.
probably all it is, that I could somehow land a 737 safely by myself. Yeah, probably not happening. I'm probably going to be one responsible for crashing it into the ground or
But
something.
you're gonna try.
But I can convince myself that the theory exists that I could potentially land it if I can get to the yoke, and therefore it makes me more comfortable. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we will end with that. So. that is all that I prepared for tonight's episode. So I guess we will call it a night.
Okay.
But no, if you listeners enjoy hearing us just be idiots and just talk shit for a while, we appreciate you listening. If you have anything that you want us to talk about, we encourage you to send your ideas and stuff to us at info@darkdialogue.com. Give us a like and a follow. Reach out to us on social media. Visit our website at www.darkdialogue.com. And until next time, this has been John
And Angela.
Have a great night.